Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Noha Polak. I am a pediatrician. I've been practicing pediatrics in New Jersey since 1996 at Progressive Pediatrics. I'm super excited today to be speaking with my very good friend, Dr. Sharice Hammond, who is an expert at strategic parenting. And she's going to help teach me, and I hope all of you, about what is strategic parenting. So, Dr. Hammond, would you speak to us about all the things that you do for people and tell us who you are?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. As you mentioned, I'm Dr. Sharice Hammond. I'm a board certified OBGYN who has, by necessity, shifted to focusing on strategic parenting. It started off with just myself and helping my friends. And our goal is to help parents maximize their children's success. And we primarily do that in the education realm with access to elite prep schools and boarding schools, college, as well as graduate and professional studies.
Oh, wow. That's super exciting. So I get a lot of questions in my practice from parents, really super early on. Okay, how can I help my child learn better, even at the age of like 2 or 3? And those are great questions. And I love to answer about how play is important, how everything is important. Can you tell us, is there anything in your life that prompted you to start on this path?
Absolutely. And in fact, it was my child that started me on this path. My daughter was a little child that was a little sickly at birth and lagged behind her peers. And she wasn't really getting the gross motor that was necessary. So she was in physical therapy, occupational therapy. We listened to the physicians. We did all the recommended therapies, but it just wasn't clicking for this particular child. So I was panicking. We're getting close to 2 years old and we're still kind of not walking. So I looked around and I said, maybe if we try something else that holds her interest longer, she might, because it's still the same skills, toddling around there. And I put her in a dance class. And that was the true defining difference, I believe, for her going from a kid who was cruising, holding on for dear life to walking, running, and running away from me. So it was
How
great.
Exciting. Oh my goodness. How did you even think of dancing in a child who's not even walking? And how did they accept her in the class?
Yes, it was difficult. I was trying to think outside the box. In medicine, I've oftentimes had to just do something different. Not every prescription works for every patient. And I looked at my own kid and we were diligently attending all the therapies and we still did while we were dancing. But I felt like I needed something else to hold her attention. And it was the other children in the room, the music, other things that got her moving and interested that have continued on to this day. And it was something that I decided, let me just give it a try. I can't do any worse than I am right now. And it was a huge breakthrough for my little girl.
Amazing. Is she still dancing, by the way?
She is. She's hoping to have professional dancing as one of her things in life. So it's continued with her.
Oh, what a story. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. I love it. I love it. So can you tell us, so guide us, what do your clients come to you for and how do you help them?
Absolutely. The majority of my clients come to me looking for something to help their child find their path. Oftentimes, children have tried a lot of different things. They've tried soccer, they've tried chess, they've tried a variety of different things. And they're getting to the age of about, 9, 10, where they're not sure which way they should go with their kid. The era previously, we wanted well-rounded children who could dabble in this and dabble in that and do a little of this and a little of that. Well, now in this post-COVID era, we're recognizing that institutions are looking for kids who kind of excel in one sort of chosen, desired area, something that's their passion. And so we help parents figure out how to maneuver and work with the kid because it's different for every child, even in one family. One kid can be really interested in music and that's where they want to go. One other child is interested in science. So we really tailor our programming to help that child reach their maximum and whatever it is. And realizing that kids are just that, kids, they change their mind and it's okay. Leaving room for a kid to pivot into something else as they go along their academic career.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so powerful for me because my kids are older and I would have loved to have that kind of guidance early on, to be honest with you. So I think it's wonderful that strategic parenting is a thing.
Yes.
I had not heard of it, and I'm hoping to spread the word about this. Can you give us a couple of tips? So let's say your youngest client, I don't know, 9 or 10, give us a tip or two per age group, if you could, about strategic parenting.
Honestly, strategic parenting starts even younger for a lot of families. Depending on what you're interested in, a lot of families, the local public school is their thing, and that's what they want. And I think that's great. You can still maximize your child in that environment as well. But then there are others who are looking for a private environment for their child, and they need to start considering working on things even as a young age. Because even back to my little girl, everything that I did with her when I was trying to help her learn how to walk was kind of a therapy session. I was holding just one finger, letting her only hold one finger. She was still trying to get her balance. So even though we want kids to be kids, you can provide them with learning opportunities even early on that allow them to become more independent and trying things. So it can start even very early in life, 4 to 7 years old. Once you get a kid older than that into the late elementary school, you want to start understanding what are their interests, where are they strong at. It's always great to support a kid's natural strengths. So if you have a kid who seems to be really good at writing, maybe encourage more writing. Maybe consider enrolling them in a creative writing course for the summer. That's something, that really allows them to further that interest, and you can test the waters. I mean, we have children who started in something like that at 9 or 10, who by the time they graduated from high school, they've published a book. And most parents wouldn't even think of that, but it's a natural progression of things that happen as you're supporting what the kid's interested in and what they do well. And that's the key. A lot of parents, they know what's going on with their kids, but they don't know how to structure activities to maximize that. And that's what we help them find. As you move on into middle school, kids pretty much know what they want to do and what they're interested in by then. And now you can put more emphasis and effort into specific things. And that is included in supplementing kids during school with maybe after school activities, or going to targeted summer camps in the summer for set activities. By the time you get to high school, now we're really honing in. And these are the kids who are potentially interested in going to some prep schools or local private schools or elite boarding schools. And now we're targeting their specific interests, and we're figuring out ways so that they can share that interest with the world. And that's the key. I may be the best Rubik's Cube player, but unless I have a way of sharing that with the world, no one will ever know that I can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 14 seconds. I cannot, but some of my clients definitely can. So that's the process that you go through. You slowly kind of start figuring out what the kids are interested in, helping them hone the time to do it and develop that skill, and then maximizing it, showing it to the world, and then you're ready to go.
Wow. So you kind of focus on each child's specific strength.
Yes.
Not just interest, it sounds like. And whatever their strengths are, you help them to maximize it for their future so that it's kind of not a wasted talent. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. Because a lot of kids will like a lot of things, but when they start doing something well and you naturally support that, then that'll make it easier to continue to excel in that. And kids oftentimes find that they really do enjoy what they do well, because there's a lot of positive reinforcement that comes with that. And we support that, and we hope that, and again, you still allow for kids to be able to pivot though, right? Because they are kids, but oftentimes they do that. They do something very well, and then we continue to encourage it, be it music, be it a sport, art. We have kids who are interested in participating in spelling bees or chess, and we maximize that, and it becomes their ticket. It becomes their thing,
That's pretty amazing. It's probably defining for a child to have such a strength or a talent. And I understand children do change, so they may have multiple over their lifetimes, which is great. You don't get rid of a talent, you just collect them.
Exactly.
Right? You just keep them in your back pocket. Oh, this one, I loved it, but it's not my thing. I'm going to keep it in my back pocket. And you help them to do that. But What a great idea. I'm loving this whole concept, this whole idea.
Yes. Well,
and I'm so glad you guys are out there.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt you there. What we also realize is nothing's wasted. If a kid was really interested in being on the soccer team and they just loved it, well, let's talk about all the skills that were acquired before they pivoted to becoming a painter, right? They understood teamwork, how to, where do they fit in a system? What sort of strengths can they bring to the team? How to listen. There's always an acquisition of skills. As you mentioned, it's your toolkit. It's in your back pocket. You can pull them out later. And it's a way to just help your child develop and be successful in the long run. We're not just growing little mathematicians or chess players or soccer stars. We're growing real whole people who we want to be successful and happy in life. And that's our goal here at Strategic Parent Solutions.
That's awesome. Dr. Hammond, I think that you should have like a weekly show or a podcast that we could all listen to so that we can learn so much more from you. What a great idea.
Thank you. I'll consider that. I'm thinking of putting something like that in the works. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd love some more info. But where can I and others find you on the internet? Absolutely.
Yes. You can find me at strategicparentsolutions.com, as well as on all social media forums at Strategic Parent Solutions.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you. And any last pieces of advice before I let you go?
Absolutely. I want to encourage all parents. All parents can start this process with their kids. Some people will be interested in working with someone like myself, but there are plenty of people who want to give it a go on their own. And let me tell you, you can do it. I want to empower you to, really hone in on your kid and see what they do well and encourage that. And it can be something that you just do in your home. It's not necessarily something you got to actually pay for as well. If kids want to, as I mentioned, if they seem to be creative writers, help them read as many books as they can. Their writing skills will improve with the reading. There's certain things like that you can do in the home. Encourage your kid to practice that violin, even though it's a little bit, encourage these things. And then you'll be a strategic parent yourself. So there's a lot of ways that everyone can get involved in a movement like this.
Wonderful. And I can't wait to go onto your website and learn more about all things strategic parenting. So thank you for joining me today, Dr. Hammond. I hope you have a wonderful day. Once again, I'm Dr. Noha Polak. I'm the pediatrician at Progressive Pediatrics in Union City and Bayonne, New Jersey. And today I'm joined by Dr. Hammond, who is a strategic parenting expert, and her website is strategicparent.com. Have a great day.
Strategicparentsolutions.com.
Thank you for correcting me. Strategicparentsolutions.com. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.